Hello and welcome to Tune In. It's the official podcast of the British Association of Barbershop Singers. I'm Peter Bryant, Babs Director of Marketing. I've got an exciting guest host with me today. It's Simon Lubkowski. How are you, Si?
Very well, very well. Very nice to be here. Kind of just about recovering from Babs, I think, more or less.
I know. We're recording this on the 6th of June, which means that Babs was a bit less than 2 weeks ago. So, yes, we've just about got our heads together. I can't believe I'm saying this, Simon, but I am reliably informed that there are people in the barbershop community who might not know who you are.
Probably quite a lot of them, actually. I find myself being quite subtle and demure. No one really knows who I am.
Very demure, very mindful. Would you like to just introduce yourself to the people listening who might not know
yes,
you?
Hello, Simon Lubkowski. I am the Babs Director of Music Education. I'm also the musical director of Lux A Cappella, sing with a quartet called The Light Fantastic, and previously I was also in a gold medal quartet, Babs quartet, called The Locksmiths. So, yeah, do quite a lot of barbershop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. It's nice to have you on the podcast.
Love to be here. Love to be here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a little while since we've done an episode of Tune In. We missed April because I was busy getting married.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. That was lovely. It was funny actually because we got married sort of towards the end of April and went on a little kind of a short trip to Copenhagen immediately afterwards, and we just missed. I think we were literally leaving Copenhagen the same day that all of the European Convention attendees were arriving in Copenhagen.
Yes. Either that's funny. Really good planning, Peter, or it's really bad planning, depending on who you are. So
yeah. It was so funny. Like I was walking around the centre of Copenhagen, and I just happened to look on Instagram, and somebody from Crucible Vocal Project had just posted on Instagram stories a picture of them on the road in Copenhagen where I'd been literally 30 minutes before. I was I narrowly missed several barbershoppers in Copenhagen.
Again, positive or negative depending on who you are.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll cover a bit of European Barbershop Convention because we had some British success.
Oh, we did.
Some good old British success in Europe again, like the good old days. And then of course we've had our own Babs convention in Bournemouth.
We have
a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot to cover. What should we start with?
Well, should we chronologically start with a bit of EBC?
That sounds good.
I'm wearing my EBC t-shirt, actually.
You are, because you were there.
I was indeed. I have to say, it was awesome. It was awesome. Really good fun. There with The Light Fantastic. So my mixed quartet. So we got nominated for that, and it was just it was a brilliant weekend.
Yeah, it was very, very cool because we had for this sort of thing, I like to try and do things from memory, but there was absolutely no way I was going to remember all of the British representation that we had at Europeans because it was just.
Glad you've written it down.
I don't think we've ever sent this many groups to Europeans. It's really good.
We had a lot.
Yeah, so we had in the choruses, and I'm literally just reading down. This is in no particular order. Men's choruses, we had Meantime and the Royal Harmonics from Babs. We had women's choruses. London City Singers from Labs, the Red Rosettes from Labs. That was very cool. Mixed choruses. Say again?
Heartbeat from Sweet Ads, I think.
Heartbeat from Sweet Ads. Yes, you're quite right. Missed them.
And Phoenix from Sweet Ads, I think.
And mixed choruses, we had Bristol A Cappella from Babs, Crucible Vocal Project from Babs, Endeavour Chorus from Babs. Very, very exciting. So that was cool. And then there were quartets as well. So let me find the quartets list. I mean, there were so many quartets anyway, but we had Fifth Element from Babs. We had the Emerald Guard from Babs. We had Trailblazers from Babs.
We
had Barbalicious from Labs. We had In-House from Labs. We had Muddy Stilettos from Labs. We had mixed quartets. We had Hot Ticket. We had Met 44. We had Mixed Blessings, who are the Babs seniors quartet champs from last year. And of course, we had the wonderful The Light Fantastic represented here today on the Tune In podcast. Just absolutely insane representation from British organisations and British groups at Europeans, and lots of them having contest success as well. Tell me about the because I wasn't there.
You
Tell me
were.
about,
You were
tell me
leaving
about.
just as we all arrived.
Yeah, I just missed it all. Tell me about
It
it.
was
What was
just
it like?
really, really good atmosphere. We kind of arrived. I think it was a couple of days beforehand. So we went through Copenhagen, spent a bit of time in Copenhagen, and then waited for all of us to be together so we could get the train through across the water into Sweden. Convention centre was really nice. We arrived for a little bit of like a mic testing thing on the stage, which we didn't really have any common repertoire because there was like German people and Swedish people and some British people. We all went on stage supposedly to do a mic test, but literally almost like not everyone knew Heart of My Heart, or they knew it like obviously the Germans have a song that they do in English, but it's not one that I'd ever heard before. So we ended up singing Happy Birthday many times, making up harmonies to do the sound check, which it was okay because the choruses sounded okay the next day. But atmosphere was great. I don't think you find this with venues. Sometimes you go into a venue and it's too big, and sometimes it's too small. And then there's that kind of Goldilocks kind of zone of venues that are just about the right size. So there's always a seat, but it's not like cavernous and everything's a seat and it looks like there's no one there, even with 1,000 people. So it was pretty much bang on the right size auditorium. Tell you one thing I noticed, the sound system, a lot more amplification than we have at Babs and Labs.
Interesting.
Yeah, like significantly. So like on big chords, you would actually physically move back in your chair because the amplification was such, which I think potentially caused some competitors to have a little bit of hit back off the back wall because you're not kind of used to it. It sounded great.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite hear it initially on stage, but then some points you were like, "Oh, what was that?"
Like
and it
a
was
second later, you're like, "Oh,
yeah." You hear a good chord and you think, "Yes, we nailed that one." But yes, atmosphere is great. It was like almost like a UK convention, but just with lots of friendly European people who some of them you kind of knew from various groups, especially like Swedish groups and people in 08. You're probably the same as me. You watch videos on YouTube and you don't know why you've seen someone.
Real life people.
Yeah, but then you don't know where you've seen them from. But there's a couple of like front rowy type people. One of my favourite songs, 08, If You Go Away from BHS a few years ago. So I watch that one quite a lot. I use it when I'm talking about kind of naturalistic performance and how you can perform well without choreo and stuff. But there were some people I walked past and I was like, I know you. And then I worked out I'd never talked to them before. I just watched a video of them emoting.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was.
So you feel like
fab.
you know them because you've seen into their soul.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen their emotional soul, and then I'm like, I'm not going to talk to you because you'll have no idea who I am. But it's like you touched me emotionally. So, but yeah, so atmosphere was great. It was really quite like a UK convention, but just with like extended amounts of people who were really enjoying their time. It was just fab. Yeah, I just loved it. And sitting and whooping along the British contingent was fab. Obviously, being in a quartet, we didn't get to see as much of like some of the quartets and things as you might want to. But obviously, we were there to rehearse and do as well as we can.
Yeah. And how did you get on?
We were really happy. I mean, again, if anyone doesn't know who the Light Fantastic are, we haven't been around that long. And our lead, Emma, it's her first ever quartet.
Yeah.
So she joined Lux as like completely a non-barbershopper. So she's still only a couple of years into singing barbershop at all. So it was her first quartet that we did for IABS a couple of years ago as a fun thing. And we managed to then get a silver medal in IABS a couple of years ago and then came and won Labs first time out, which wasn't really expected. So we were kind of thinking and hoping we could get through to the final. You have to get over 75 to get through to the final.
But was the score cut off?
It was the top 6 or whatever, but because of international qualification, mathematically, if you got over 75, you could mathematically get over 78 overall to get, like, for some people, it was their international qualification for future years and whatever. Okay. And we managed, so we were kind of like, right, well, based on, we won Labs with like 75.1. We're like, well, we're going to have to do well with a BHS judging panel and brand new songs because we chose new songs and stuff. But it was fab. We managed to get through to the final, which was 100% marvellous. We hadn't quite weren't quite sure if we would, but we did. And yeah, I think we came seventh in Europe, which is not too shabby. Pretty good. So no, we just loved it. It was just lovely to go on stage and sing some songs and try out some new stuff and entertain. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Amazing. Congrats. Yeah, I mean, we have some we had some very exciting results from our Babs quartets. So it was funny actually. Like the three male quartets that represented Babs, Emerald Guard, Fifth Element, and Trailblazers all came literally next to each other on the score sheet. They were 4th, 5th, and 6th. So Trailblazers came 6th, Fifth Element came 5th, and the Emerald Guard came 4th. And they were all within 0.3% of one another.
Crazy.
So it's 81.4 for Trailblazers, 81.5 for Fifth Element, and 81.7 for the Emerald Guard, all achieving their highest scores ever at Europeans, which was awesome. And then, of course, the Scandinavians took all the medals in the men's quartet finals. Lemon Squeezy won with a 92.2.
Yes,
which is just
they were okay. They were okay. They were reasonably good. Yeah, I mean they were fabulous. You hadn't mentioned 08 yet, but we'll get to them in a minute. But so Lemon Squeezy, it's just so. I'm a singing judge, so one of the things I do for Babs is a singing judge. And when you listen to a group, and we talk about like when we listen to stuff, you want like free of technique and freely produced, resonant, free of technique, and basically not showing the technique in the performance. Yeah. And when you see a group in the 90s, you just watch it, you just go, you're doing so many hard things, but it just doesn't look hard. But it still is hard because they've had to work really hard at it. And if you look back at Lemon Squeezy way, way, way back when, like the journey they've come and the improvements, especially like in the voices that are still the same with, I think, lead and bass or lead and bass or slow tenor and bass. But just like the differences and the progress they've made and the consistency, it's just amazing to listen.
They're such an inspiring quartet, Lemon Squeezy, actually, because like if you go through, you can find their like scoring history. At the first time they competed, they scored in like the low 70s, which is where a lot of quartets start in that sort of level, sort of mid B level. And it's inspiring to know that like Lemon Squeezy, who are as good as they are, like started in a reasonably humble place.
Ringmasters were similar, weren't they? They started off in a similar kind of place, similar kind of area in the sevens and kind of low to mid sevens, and it's work. It makes you feel good because it's like actually, if you put your work in, if you do your work, if you get your good coaching, if you listen and you're passionate and you're willing to if you're willing to dedicate time to it, which we all know is difficult as we grow older and have children and all those things.
I don't know anything about that.
I know something about that. I only have 4.
I'll be 24 forever. I've not just turned 30 or anything. Don't worry about me.
You're not looking a day past it, mate.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I've been that thing that people do when they sit down and they go, oh, when they sit. I've been doing this since I was 12, so I don't feel any older. Just going back to some of these results and scores. Mixed quartets, Hot Ticket got a bronze. They came
fabulous
third
work.
with a 78.4.
Absolutely fabulous work.
So congrats to Hot Ticket. Yeah, Light Fantastic came 7th. Well done. And
big shout out though, I have to say, we were first on in the mixed quartet final, and
were you?
Met 44 were mic warming, and I have to say their mic warming set for the finals was probably one of my favourite things that I saw all weekend. It's just absolutely fabulous.
Iconic, actually,
yeah, it was brilliant. I have to say it did make us slightly nervous standing side stage, knowing we were going to have to follow that. But yeah, it was like, hey, cheers, let's ultra entertainment and like one of the best sets I've ever seen. It's like, yeah, we're gonna follow that now. Yeah,
amazing.
But no, it was fab.
Yeah, and then shout out to the female quartets as well. In-house, Barbalicious, Muddy Stilettos all made the finals. And then our Irish friends, Lady Barbalade, got a silver with 79.5. And Aska from Sweden. The Swedes once again taking the gold with an 81. Aska are great actually. Limelight were my quartet were lucky enough to be guests at the IABS convention in 2023 along with Aska, so we got to meet Aska and got to know them a little bit.
I was at that convention as well. Yeah. Did that chorus. Luminosity did like a kind of chorus made up of like Lux and extra friends and stuff. So I remember watching Aska as well, thinking, "Oh, they're rather good, aren't they?" So.
Yeah, and then of course we got chorus results as well. Just to quickly go through choruses. So who have we got in the women's? Some actually like very, very nice surprises in the women's contest as well for choruses. London City Singers came 7th from Labs with an 80.2, which I think is probably their highest score that they've got. Red Rosettes came. This is kind of what blows my mind. So the Red Rosettes came 5th, right, in the women's chorus contest. They got an 84.8 and came 5th. Yeah. Which means that 4 choruses got higher than 84.8.
Crazy.
One of those was Heartbeat, who came 4th with an 85.3. And then again, the Scandinavians sweeping
Yeah.
the medals.
Yeah.
Stockholm City Voices taking it with an 88.4 for the gold. But yeah, amazing results for the British representatives there. In the
I think
women's
both.
contest.
I think it was interesting because I don't go to many sweet ads conventions just because it falls just a couple of weeks before Babs, so I'm usually with either quartets or choruses. I'm usually kind of in the middle of rehearsals and stuff. But with Labs conventions, it's been really good. Again, Red Rosettes. I remember a couple of years ago when they were at Labs. I just remember that, like, just the sound. I think that was the year they got. I think they were first in singing. I think they got a bronze medal, but they were first in singing. And obviously, as a singing judge, I'd kind of scored them as first. And when they got third, I was like, oh, but then when I checked the singing judges category, it's like, oh yes, I am actually okay. But just marvelous, just that real nice depth of sound, like really good bass section, real nice depth of sound, and kind of not too woofy, but just the right amount of bass and they're just fabulous. So they're getting better and better and better. So it's just fabulous to have that representation, everything with eights, and then not even like near an 80. It's just like 84, 85 and moving up. It's just such a great position to be in.
Very cool. Yeah, and then mixed choruses, we had Endeavour and Bristol Acapella from Babs doing really well. The 8th and 7th, respectively. Crucible Vocal Project were our highest performing mixed chorus from the UK. They came 5th with an 80.2. Very good. Nice, another score in the 80s. And again, the Scandinavians taking all 3 medals in the mixed chorus contest. There's a theme here, isn't there? There's a theme.
Yeah, I mean, we did notice that from the weekend. It was like, Denmark and Sweden are very good.
Yeah,
very good.
There's something going on over there.
Yeah, good
Northern
water.
Stars taking gold with an 88.6.
Their set was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen it on the internet, but the Northern Stars set was ridiculous. In a good way, it was ridiculous. The human clock has to be seen. Yes, they did a giant human clock counting down whilst singing Life on Mars by David Bowie. Sounds like a fever dream, but it actually happened. So if you get to watch the video, I think they're out on YouTube now, but their set was just fabulous. I'm assuming they're going to do it at BHS, is my assumption.
Okay, it sounds like
it was brilliant. I need
to go and find.
Oh yeah, it's just fabulous stuff.
That sounds awesome. And then finally, just to wrap it up on the European results, in the men's choruses, we had Royal Harmonics, who came 7th with a 76.6.
Yeah, did really well.
Cracking job. And then this was very cool. Meantime chorus coming second, coming away with a silver with an 88, which
crazy.
I'm pretty sure is a
highest
scoring
UK
record
score.
for Babs choruses.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world. So congratulations to Meantime. They just continue to kick ass.
They had the most difficult slot because they were on before 08. So we sat there, like Fantastic, sat there and watched. And again, I thought I was losing my singing judge credentials because I sat there after their first song, and in my brain I was like, what would I score that? And I thought I'd give that, and I thought to myself, I'd give it a 90 or a 91. And then I thought, come on, Simon, like, have a word with yourself. You don't give, like, because like no British group, I've not judged a group at that level before, and I was like, no, I think it is. I was like going through the scoring criteria in my head. I was like, I think it's a 90. Yourself. And then the score came up 88, and they got given some 90s for singing. So again, I was like, yes, but they were just absolutely fabulous. Just especially their first song, it just had me. It's the best I've heard a British group sing, and they were just a marvelous work,
stunning stuff. And then of course 08 taking the win with a 94.8. Are they going to international this year?
No,
they're not.
Well, the score would be for next year. So I don't know, but the assumption would be they did a Les Mis set, and it was a different thing because actually again, listening, it almost was otherworldly. Like tuning and like clarity, tuning, precision was like so good. It was like almost not believable. It like felt, it's the nearest I've come to thinking that there was a pitch corrected chorus, but it seemed to be more in tune than you would pitch correct it. Weird. If that makes sense. Yeah, it was weird. Again, Emma in Like Fantastic, I turned to her and she was like, I don't know why, but I don't know how I feel about it. It was almost too good. Yeah. And like honestly didn't know what emotion to have because it was just kept on going. The first song was, I think, about like, it felt like it was about 12, 13 minutes long for the first song. It was just like a medley of songs. And it was Yeah, it was ridiculous. It doesn't surprise it got 94.8. It was stunning. So I'm hoping they go next year, because I think the last time they went was when they did If You Go Away and stuff like that, which is a fair few years ago now.
That is 2019, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's been a while, but they've been going and winning all the other choral competitions in Europe. So they've been going off and winning all the other stuff.
I love that they do that. Like they are one of the best in the barbershop world at like breaking out of our bubble and going and showing like. But I'm going to say barbershop values, because that's the phrase that comes to mind. But you know what I mean, like the sort of approach that we have in the barbershop world, of really focusing on quality and improvement, and a particular approach to singing technique, that can actually, and that they show that you can apply that to all kinds of music. They've released some like classical albums, which you can listen to on Spotify and stuff, and it's really, really worth sitting down and spending time listening to 08 singing that sort of stuff, because it's just so good.
Well, they sing classical like classical singers, because a lot of them are. But then they sing barbershop like barbershoppers, and they sing a cappella. And that's the thing. It's because I've heard some, again, when I started in barbershop, I think I've done 11 years now, not very long, in the grand scheme of barbershop world. But I remember listening to some barbershop groups, and even some good barbershop groups, like back in the day, you'd hear them singing classical, but it would sound like a barbershop group singing classical. It would still have that sound. It would sound really good, but it still was a barbershop group singing classical, in the same way that you sometimes get people turn up at like prelims in Babs and they're classical singers and they sing barbershop, but it doesn't. They sound like classical singers singing barbershop. And it's 08 have just got to that point where whatever they sing, they seem to just be great at it.
Yeah, they just have such a strong awareness of this, whatever style they happen to be singing in. They understand what's required to make that style shine. Very good. So congratulations to everyone who competed at Europeans, particularly our British representatives. It
Fabulous work.
Our strongest outing at Europeans thus far, and I'm sure
it was brilliant. And well done to all the organisers, because it was really well organised, really, really friendly. It was just an incredibly enjoyable few days.
Yeah, it was hosted by the Society of Nordic Barbershop Singers, wasn't it?
It was.
They sort of bundled it into their convention. So thanks to those guys. Good stuff. Okay, should we go on to our own convention,
Why not, eh? Why not?
So
it's been presents. Barbershop gifts this year have been many and aplenty.
It's been an amazing few months. Like something we've not got time to cover is since last we recorded is we had the Bieber convention as well.
Holland Harmony, did you record before
Holland Harmony?
Yeah,
because
I was at Holland Harmony and that was fabulous as well. And I hear that Bieber was fabulous, and
it's
all
just
blessed.
Been amazing. It's been a
world of barbershop
in the barbershop world.
We should all just sing "I Like to Teach the World to Sing" in perfect harmony. Just do a barbershop version of that. We just hold hands across the world singing barbershop. Yeah,
super cute.
That was a nice way of saying no, Simon. No, you've gone too far now. No.
Calm yourself. It's just singing. We'll be okay. We love it though. We love it. And we had our own convention. We had the Babs convention in Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago at the end of May. Did you have a nice time?
It was, for obvious reasons, which we might get to. Yes, it was fabulous.
Tell us the reason.
Yeah, I know. I've had a few busy conventions in my time. I think this was officially probably the busiest for the amount of different things. So things that went well. So I was thrilled to be doing the live stream again. So been organising the live stream. So we kind of arrived, organised the live stream, got the live stream set up. Working with the guys at CPS and Nick. So again, that was fabulous to be doing that again, and knowing the kind of feedback we got last year and the quality of the kind of output last year. So that was just fab. Again, just to be working on that and just to know how many people were watching. And since then, all the kind of feedback that we've got from people about the live stream. So that was just great, and it was just really nice to know that. And again, when you're looking at, like, you look across the world of like live streams and stuff like that, and it's just great to know that our association is kind of like held up as an example of this is what you can do. And, and those things don't come free. But again, you put that priority in to make sure it's good quality, and you do what you can to make the world listen to the barbershop. So that was cool.
Yeah, and it's so exciting that we're able to make the live stream available like at no charge to the viewer. Because, as you say, we obviously want everyone to come to the convention, and we want as many people as possible, but we know there's all sorts of reasons why people can't come to conventions or don't come to conventions. And we just want everyone to feel included and feel part of what's going on. And I really think the live stream is the best way that we can do that, make everyone feel involved wherever they are in the world, whatever they're doing. And actually, like, even if you are at the convention, it's a useful resource to have. Like lots of people said this last year. Like after my quartet came off stage, we just opened the live stream and rewound it and watched our performance straight away. Yeah, and it was like really, really helpful. Yeah,
and previous years, I remember like the wait. Like when I started barbershop, you had like the 3-4 week, maybe even slightly more, where you're just waiting. You're like checking YouTube on the daily, just like when your video is finally going to be released and when you can watch it. So the idea that you could just walk off stage and just instantly rewind it and watch it, and you saw people doing that. You saw them on their phones looking up there, and people again. It's interesting for me because there was a few mentions about this last time, and it wasn't something that was originally in the planning of why do a live stream. Was that some people, like, you get in a convention weekend and it's just too much, like too much peopling. Do you know what I mean? And I get that sometimes. But the fact that people could know that they could watch a show, they could support, they could be still keeping up with everything, even if they just have to their social battery is drained and they just have to go and sit in a dark room. But they can have the stream on, they could be watching it, they could be keeping up with things. And then when you have that conversation with someone, it's like, I saw your performance on the live stream, I absolutely loved it, as opposed to, sorry, I didn't see your performance because I had to go and kind of have a little bit of me time and whatever. It's just a really nice way of keeping in touch. Yeah, so it's really, really good. I will do the good Babs thing, I have to say. I will do the good thing and say that there is still, if you want to be donating towards the live stream, it would be much appreciated. Obviously, whilst it's free for people to watch it, it's definitely not free for us to put it on. So it would be fabulous to get some donations towards those costs.
Yeah, definitely. We're leaving the donation link open for quite some time, as long as we can, basically. Yeah. So we'll throw the link in the show notes. I'm a podcast host. I say things
yes,
like
you are.
show notes. So yes, and you can also find the link on our social media and on the website and stuff. So please do. If you benefited from the live stream, a little kickback to support it would be greatly appreciated.
It'd be fabulous. So if I take you through the next thing, because all of these things we can mention. Next thing, I emceed the end part of the quartet semi-finals on the Friday night.
Yeah, did you have fun?
I absolutely loved it. You emceed something as well, didn't you?
I got to MC the Saturday night show, and I got to introduce Vocal Spectrum, which was people who were there will know I gushed a little bit when I introduced Vocal Spectrum, but I couldn't let the opportunity pass.
No,
because that was very, very cool.
Well, I have to say, one of my fond barbershop memories, I think about a year or so ago, when you sang with Vocal Spectrum at Bieber, near the bar. You did it on the street where you live, I think it was.
Yeah.
Just fabulous work. I remember I was listening thinking that was gorgeous. But they are rather special. So I know I loved emceeing the quartet semi-final. I was worried I'd get stuff wrong because I was having to do the draw for the final and announce the winners of the seniors and the youth. I was like, don't get this wrong now. It's a lot
of pressure, isn't it?
Oh, no, don't give me responsibility like that. No, but that was really good fun.
Yeah,
and the quality of the semi-finals was just fabulous. Really, really good. And the quality of the youth and seniors, again, you just look at stuff and you go, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Barbershop is both in good hands for the future, but you still got your seniors quartets absolutely smashing it as well, which is always good to see.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, so the seniors quartet champs were the Old Romantics. Some very familiar faces here in the Old Romantics, like
yes,
people with strong meddling history. So yeah, congratulations to those guys. I think really, really bringing back some classic barbershop tunes that we always love. So and then kind of completely other side of the coin with the new youth quartet champions, the 6'4", a group that until they arrived at prelims last year, I'd never seen or heard anything about. kind of similar to Ami Quartet, last year's champs. Kind of completely came out of nowhere, and did a really, really great performance. And I think this is a bit of a function in the youth quartet contest. What people might not realise who are listening is that obviously for all of our contests, you have to be a Babs member. Apart from the youth quartet contest, the youth quartet contest is open to any singer, any quartet from anywhere, and they don't have to be a Babs member. And I think that the result of that has been that we kind of get more outside entries from groups who are not necessarily, in the barbershop bubble, which is nice. And I think the 6'4" is kind of one of those, an example of that. I actually don't know anything about them. I don't know. If
I know a little bit, but only because of the live stream. Because obviously organising the live stream and getting the notes and listening to some of the hosting stuff. So as far as I'm aware, I think they were also related to slightly to Sound Hypothesis. I think Sound Hypothesis in the Tectonics, and I think so was 6'4". But a slightly different year, so younger. But I think there was a kind of mixture, because I think some of the Sound Hype guys still go and do some work and do some coaching, still have involvement with Tectonics as ex-alumni. And I think one of them, I think, joined Meantime. So one of the ones who was in Sound Hype got someone in there to join Meantime, and then he got his friends in Tectonics to sing some barbershop and to do a quartet. And because it's free, well, I'd say free, but as in you don't have to be a Babs member, it lowers those barriers to participation. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go to Leicester and do a prelims and see what we got. Brilliant. And now they're champions. Yeah, so it's just fabulous.
From the kind of a cappella world.
I think so. Cool. Yeah,
very cool.
Which is brilliant. So,
congratulations to our new youth and senior quartet champions. Very exciting. And then male choruses were the day after on Saturday.
Yeah, I judged that contest.
And you scored it. I did
indeed. Yes. As I said,
tell us
relatively busy.
Like.
Absolutely, I loved it. I think, interestingly, I've been a Babs judge since 2021. Qualified in 2021. Did my training through COVID, just before and then through COVID, which was interesting. But I qualified having never officially judged a chorus contest. It would be all online stuff because of COVID, etc. And I think this one, because I've directed a chorus, I've directed Lux a cappella since then, it's the first Babs chorus contest I've judged.
Whoa!
I've judged choruses in Bieber. I did Bieber in 2024, did all the group's choruses and quartets, but it's my first ever Babs chorus contest. So I got to sit there. I've done the quartets a few times now, but my first chorus contest, and it was, again, brilliant. And some of the most favourite moments I had, interestingly, were not the highest scoring ones. It was
nice.
It's like that. It's when I say community barbershop, I run quite a few community choirs. So when I say community barbershop, it's meant in the actual meaning of community. Because you see people coming on stage and just giving it their all and having a great time and enjoying themselves. And you see them I saw them in the bar afterwards and beforehand, and you just see the fact that they're enjoying their time. They're singing barbershop. They're kind of singing songs and they're doing their best. And it's just lovely. So you just sit there and I just sat there and was like, oh God, I need to write some things down, as opposed to just enjoying people doing the hobby we love. It's just so great to see it.
Our favourite groups are always the ones who are just like really nice friends who happen to be in a barbershop group together.
Yeah, and they just have some fun. So there was just lovely to hear some new songs and some old songs, and kind of like the old returning songs are still there, but they were still sung with like freshness and enjoyment. And then you've got new songs and you've got kind of zippy new things as well. And that, again, the higher end of stuff, you're still really enjoying the quality moving up again in the higher groups. But again, it was just fabulous to sit there. It really is people say it is the best seat in the house, but it really is. You don't get any amplified sound. You just hear every little moment from those groups giving it their all.
Isn't it, I suppose?
It's just fabulous. It's just amazing to sit there and hear. And
it was the sense that I got from sort of talking to people on the day and as the day was going along was that this was like one of the more exciting chorus contests that we've had in terms of like. Some years you kind of go through and it's like, well, obviously this person's going to win and these will be the men. And everyone kind of knows and everyone has the same prediction. I think this time, people were walking around and having conversations and being like, oh, well, I thought, Mailvox might have done enough to, come in, whatever. And everyone had a different prediction, and it was exciting when the results came out. And actually looking at the score sheet, it's funny because it's almost like there were 4 medalists in a competition where we award 3 medals. There were almost 4 medalists because 4 choruses scored in the 80s. Hallmark of Harmony, Male Vox, Great Western, and Cotton Town in kind of ascending order, and you know, throughout the day, I had those top 3 given to me as predictions from people in all sorts of different orders.
We're all very, again, it's interesting. So sometimes you get groups that, and whilst I don't say the same, but so for example, my first convention was 2013 in Bournemouth. So I sang with Hallmark. I think you were there. You sang with Hallmark that year.
That sounds right. Yeah.
2013. Yeah, we did Goodbye Dixie, Goodbye. That
Crikey,
package. Yeah, I know. The year Emerald Guard won. So my first convention, and you look at kind of Hallmark as it was then, and a lot of the choruses then were of pretty similar sizes. So like similar sizes, kind of like between like your 50 and your set, like at the time 50 and 70 singers, kind of similar kind of size. Now those top 3 completely different ways of doing barbershop almost. Cotton Town was like the bigger one, like bigger in numbers. Male Vox was the smallest, and Great Western was that kind of like in the middle, and then Hallmark again was slightly bigger again.
So according to the score sheet, Hallmark and Cotton Town had exactly the same number of singers on stage this year.
Yeah. So which is I think Hallmark were probably a little bit smaller than sometimes they are with the Project Horizon thing, and then Cotton Town were maybe a bit bigger. I think they've had they've had some really good recruitment over the last year. So a lot of those guys in Cotton Town was I think it was their first convention.
Yeah, I think
Cotton Town.
Think Neil said to me, their director, that they had 17 new members on stage, something like 13 of whom had not done barbershop before, which and they got their highest ever score. They got an 84.4 and won. And it was the first song that they sang was I Will, which is a Beatles song, and it was arranged for Ambassadors by David Wright a few years ago, and it's one of my all-time favorite songs, first of all, but then all-time favorite barbershop arrangements as well, and it was executed so stunningly. I really, really loved their set. Great Western came second, 82.5. I think that's
highest ever score.
Their highest ever score.
Their highest ever score.
I reckon they're chuffed with that.
Yeah, and they've won 10 gold medals, and to get your highest ever score and to come second.
But
that just is because British barbershop keeps on getting better.
Yeah, they will be. I like the noise that erupted from the Great Western camp in the auditorium when they were announced as the silver medalists with an 82.5 was just outstanding. And then Male Vox taking 17 singers on stage and scoring an 82.1, coming third. Outstanding.
And I have to say, from a judging perspective, their second song was like all entertainment. I think they won the Labs Entertainment Award. And their second song, it's just testament to just how well they sing, was that I think across the singing category, their scores in singing went up. In their second song. So often when you do there's the risk reward thing, when you do I say comedy set, but like entertainment kind of set with like stuff that's supposed to be funny and those things and doing different things, often you gain in performance, but you might slightly drop in singing when you're doing these other things. Sometimes the vocals are affected, and actually it was the opposite. It just gave them such freedom, such lightness. It was just amazing to see. And you watch these things, you go, oh, that might have it, and then the next one you go, oh, bloody okay then, well, that might have it. And somebody else, well, that might have it. It's like, well, I don't know who has it, but you just put your scores down and Hallmark were just, again, fabulous as ever. And Rob's first time.
Rob's only been directing Hallmark for I want to say maybe 6-8 months, something like that. It's not been very long at all. So to come out this soon after taking over as MD and getting a score in the 80s, fair play to them.
They did fabulous work.
It was really funny actually, because the 2 songs that they sang, they did This Can't Be Love and This Heart of Mine, and I was like, these are songs that Tagline would have chosen. they were very like Tagline songs.
Did Chris Langworthy arrange the first one?
That's right.
Baritone of Tagline.
Off of Tagline, yeah. Chris off of Tagline.
So we don't mind that, do we? Very good. But it was fabulous. So it was just great to watch.
Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone in the chorus contest. We had 27 choruses in the contest this year, which is really nice. So well done, everyone. And then we had some mixed choruses. Did we not, Si? Do you know anything about that?
We did. I was directing a mixed chorus. So
which one?
Lux a cappella. We won.
Hey.
So
well done, team.
So yeah, it was. It's been. It's not been a long time coming because we're only in our. I think that's only our. Yeah, we've come third, second, first. So it's only our fourth time, but it was absolutely amazing. Like just so. I was convinced we'd come fourth.
Really? When they started announcing the
Because we kind of in our brain was like, because we're going to BHS, because after last year we got Babs's nomination to go to Denver to do BHS, so we'd kind of committed to that. So for us, Babs was actually a thing that we weren't going to do, and I basically put a message out in about, I think it was like October, November time, and said, if you want to go to Babs, because you should, because Ambassadors and Vocal Spectrum are there and it's a good weekend, but I'm aware that not everyone might be able to manage it, etc., because you've got Denver coming up. If you want to, let me know. Thought we'd maybe get 25, 30. We chose a couple of songs, did something different, and then before you knew it, 85 people decided they wanted to come. Of our 100 members, we got 85 on stage. It was like, okay then, so we're doing Babs then. Cool, excellent.
Very good.
But then we went and won, so
nice.
What's not to like?
Congrats. And you guys, and actually, it was a close fought contest because the Bristol mix came in just behind you. You guys got 81.1, they got 80.9, so it was a hard fought win.
4 points out of 1,800, so yeah, very close, and they did amazingly well.
The Bristol mix did one of my favourite. Did you know that Billy Joel released a new song a year or so ago?
I know he did, didn't he? Yeah,
called "Turn the Lights Back On," and they sang that. It was a Sam Hubbard arrangement of "Turn the Lights Back On" by Billy Joel, which was great. And actually, that song matched with your first song as the highest scoring song in the contest. So it was very, very closely fought. You won it on the uptune.
Which was our first foray into choreography and movement.
Paid off.
Because we didn't think we'd get many people, I was like, let's do a song and add some choreo, because we're not going to come very high, because we'll get 20 singers. And then we got everyone turned up. It's like, we still need to do a choreo package.
Guess we're doing choreo with 85 people.
And I put myself on the front row as a one-legged man with no sense of rhythm. But we did okay, because we worked hard.
And then Bristol Acapella coming in third even, with a 77.4. They did
their highest score. Their high score. So it was also Bristol Mix's high score so far.
Was it?
And Bristol Acapella's score for third was higher than when they won.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bristol Acapella did a Barbie set arringed. Both songs arranged by Liz Garnett. Hilarious.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Like as soon as the movie came out, about 6 different people said to me at various points, "I'm just Ken" would make a pretty good barbershop song. So, they got there.
And it does.
Yeah, so great mixed chorus contest. Congrats to everyone who competed. Really good standard again. Some really high scores. Congrats to Simon Lubkowski Acapella for taking the gold, and good luck for Denver. Are you feeling prepared?
Yes, we've got 83. We've got 83 going, and we're doing Ballad from Babs. If I Can Dream, and we've got a new song that we're going to be premiering there, which has been arranged by your brother.
My brother?
Your brother.
Oh,
yes,
God.
indeed.
I'm sorry.
So no, we love it. I have to say, your brother is. Apologies for saying it, Peter. Your brother is very talented and very good.
I know, it's really upsetting, isn't it?
Yeah, but so are you. But yeah,
I struggle to deal with it. Nick is just kind of. In a really weird way, sort of exploded as an arranger on the international stage, because it First Take sang his arrangement of Let's Go Fly Kite a few years ago, which he arranged like 6 years ago, and not for anyone in particular. Finest Hour sang it, but he didn't do it for anyone. He just sort of did it, and then I think Drew Wheaton found it via the tag, because someone taught him the tag, and he was like, "This is the perfect barbershop tag," and then he looked for the original arrangement and found it, and they did it. But then obviously Nick's arranged for you. He arranged for In-House as well, maybe.
Like Fantastic, he arranged our song we did at European.
Like Fantastic,
and we're doing that in Denver as well.
So,
all I care about is love. Well, he's doing great work. Yeah, and I think they'll have another one. I think there's definitely. I'm not sure if it's a secret, but I think one of the ladies' choruses is singing one of his arrangements in Denver as well.
Ooh.
As far as I'm aware. As far as I'm aware. So yeah, he's repping it for the Bryant clan. So you know,
I know. I need to
worldwide superstardom awaits for the Bryant family. So yeah.
Good stuff. Cool. Okay, so the last thing to cover on Babs is the quartet contest. There was some super cool moments in this quartet contest for me, actually, in just kind of across the board. So we had 6 finalists: Double Bluff, The Ringing Lows, Flat Chance, Meridian, Northern Quarter, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 were our quartet finalists. And obviously we want to congratulate our medalists and our champions, medalists Meridian and Northern Quarter, and champions the 1, 2, 3, 4. But like, I think this was such a cool quartet final for all sorts of other reasons as well. Did you watch the quartet finals?
I watched it, interesting enough, mostly on the stream because I was helping out with the stream and kind of watching that whilst doing the initial stages of beginning to start packing things away.
Yes.
Whilst listening to it, but yes, it was fabulous.
Yeah, so I think every single quartet in the finals, there's something cool and interesting happening with them. So Double Bluff, who came in 6th, their final set was entirely arranged in-house by
themselves.
Their singers. So they did a song called Love Fool, which was arranged by their baritone Josh, and then they did a song called Part of a Painting, which was arranged by their bass Ben. So I love that. I don't know how often we see quartets in Babs doing their own arrangements. So
I'd imagine. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Really, really love to see that. The Ringing Lows, who came in 5th, kind of in a weird way shouldn't have been there at all, because at prelims I think they came in 17th, which put them just outside the qualifying spaces for the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And then we had a quartet drop out, and what we do when a quartet drops out is we bump
them up,
bump people up, so they kind of got into the semi-finals because somebody else pulled out. And when it came to convention, they managed to improve by 11 places and get themselves a spot in the finals and come 5th.
Yeah.
So well done to the Ringing Lows.
They were
Flat Chance, who came in 4th, were our most improved quartet.
I was going to say, they are just since November, like the difference in sound, it was just like, oh yes, then they were fabulous. Yeah, really good.
Whatever they're doing, whatever they're eating or drinking or working on, it's
keep
working.
it going.
So keep doing that. Their finals ballad was "How Deep Is the Ocean," and I was backstage because my quartet kind of bookended the contest because we did 2 sets, but we heard the tag for their ballad for "How Deep Is the Ocean," and Matthew's post, it was just like one of the largest pieces of singing I've heard for quite some time from a Babs quartet. So well done to Flat Chance, and then of course the medalists, Meridian, just doing absolutely outstanding singing, and I love the 3 medalists because they're very much like the male choruses. They'll have like very different personalities as quartets. Meridian very much like doing the big barbershop songs, ringing loads of chords.
Yeah, solid barbershop.
Barbershop sound, doing all that good stuff. And then Northern Quarter, who was celebrating their 10-year anniversary as a quartet singing together. They've literally been at Babs like every single year for the last 10 years, always getting into the finals, always coming like 4th or 5th, and finally on their 10-year anniversary, they get
it's a proper romance story. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of, it was fabulous, amazing to hear.
That was such a great moment. Congrats to Northern Quarter, and then of course our champs, the 1, 2, 3, 4. Who did some very, very cool music. They did a custom arrangement that they had commissioned by Dan Wessler, actually using some money that they were given as a grant by Babs. So there you go. If you want your own music, Babs can help you with that. And
that was a 50th anniversary grants, wasn't it?
I think it was a 50th anniversary.
Because that's why we got Nick to do the song for Lux as well. Same thing. So yes, very grateful we are too.
Yeah. So yeah, they had an absolutely great set.
Fabulous.
And also, so Joe Knight and Alan Hughes, who are the tenor and baritone of the 1, 2, 3, 4, were also in Monkey Magic. And I posted folks who are in the British Barbershop Singers Facebook group will have seen that I posted a bit of trivia. The 1, 2, 3, 4's win makes Monkey Magic, I think, one of from what we could tell as a collection, one of only 3 Babs quartets where all 4 members have gone on to win another Babs Gold, another quartet. I think that's only true for 3 other quartets, and I think the other 2 are Matrix, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's like the 1980 Babs Quartet champions. So that's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
So Monkey Magic,
and only because Zach did it with the Locksmith, but he was lead with Monkey Magic, then he was baritone.
Yeah.
And Alan did it on tenor, but then he moved to baritone with 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe did it on baritone, and then he moved to tenor. So only Duncan had to win it on bass.
One on the same voice part.
yeah. But then, I mean, Duncan can sing other parts. He can sing a mean tenor line, but I think probably the Emerald Guard were probably happy that he sang bass for them.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I think we're all happy when Duncan sings bass.
Yes. He was my fantasy quartet bass, by the way.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think that's kind of the Babs contest to recap. It was just overall a really, really excellent convention. I found that everyone seemed to be having a very lovely time. We had some really, really lovely feedback. And it's always nice to be in Bournemouth.
Yeah. Oh, I will tell you one thing we've forgotten.
Yeah.
Ambassadors of Harmony.
Oh my God.
Because we missed it out before the quartet final, but I have to say, sitting there, maybe it was the glow of having a gold medal pinned to my chest, but Ambassadors and Vocal Spectrum's Sunday matinee show just kept on getting better. Like, each song you were just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was just fab. That was marvellous. It was just so amazing to have so many of those guys across from the States, and you just saw them everywhere. There was, I mean, how many did they bring? It was a lot, wasn't it?
I think there were 100 people in their party at least.
Yeah, crazy.
And most of them singers.
Yeah,
it was a proper throwback for me, that, because my first Babs convention was 2006, which was when the last time we had Vocal Spectrum and Ambassadors together at Babs convention 19 years ago. So it was a proper throwback, and they did some of the songs that they sang 19 years ago. They did, like, Let's Call the Whole Thing Off and like the parody and stuff. Absolutely amazing. So yes, thank you so much to Ambassadors for really making it an incredibly special weekend.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Not just with their performances, but like really getting stuck in and doing sessions and the masterclass and basically using every possible opportunity to sing.
Well, they are their name, aren't they? They're just ambassadors.
They really are.
And they really were just like singing tags with people and getting to know people and chatting and just like, it's a really special thing of barbershop, is you've got these world class groups with these singers who are normal people. Yeah, they're normal people in world class groups.
Have a nice time and
they want to have a nice time, and they just want to sing with everyone. And they just, it's one of the things that makes barbershop so fabulous across the world, is just everyone just likes to talk to each other, sing to each other, and everyone's just so supportive and enjoys it so much. And it was just one of those conventions where you just come away with a nice glow.
Yes,
so
very much so.
Bring on the next one.
Yeah, 2026 Harrogate. Let's go.
Come on. Let's have a rest. Let's have a rest first.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Right, so yes, thank you. If you came to Sing2025 in Bournemouth, thank you. Thank you for coming and supporting the event. We really had a nice time. There is a feedback form out doing the rounds. You should have had an email about it.
I filled mine in.
Very good. So do let us know what you thought, if there's anything we can improve or change for next time. But yeah, thank you. It was a big effort from lots of people, and we think we pulled it off.
Yeah. As ever, the volunteer team, judges, and all that lot, just fabulous work. So amazing.
Yeah, we take every possible opportunity to thank the volunteers, because they need thanking as much as possible.
Definitely.
All right. We are coming towards the end of our time. Is it time to take a couple of? Well, I was going to say take a couple of questions. We've had a couple of questions.
Yes,
they're all on the same theme, and it's serendipitous that you're here, because they all fall under your remit as music and education director. Would you like to tell us, just so maybe I'll do this, a bit of background to this is since we last did the podcast, we took the very difficult decision to cancel the Harmony College we had planned for this year. The reason was basically it was just too risky for us. Like we weren't confident enough that we were going to be able to get enough people there to make it viable, basically, which was a shame. But the last thing we want to do is put the association in.
Yeah, I think when I came onto the board, I think one of the things that we were doing is like that kind of financial kind of what's that? I can't even remember the word,
like risk
but like
management.
There's been so much like hard work done to be able to kind of like tighten our belts a little bit, make sure we're in a positive place. And one of my kind of mantras coming into my board role was like, this is members subs. How many members subs money are we putting into this thing and this event or this thing? And therefore, is that a good use of members subs? Because we need to protect that and we need to think towards the future. And we've done the hard work, hence where we could give the 50-year grants and stuff to help support our members as they've supported us over the past few years. So then just to then have to be able to potentially look at it and think there is a risk there that we could actually undo a lot of that good work with one event if we didn't get those numbers. So there'd been so much work done. Again, Sean Bew and myself had kind of put a really good, again, Sean especially put a really good program together. But just those things can only run if we kind of have that confidence. I think it's just that financial common sense to say we're not going to put the association in potential harm's way. It's too important for everyone.
And I think, we had some really useful feedback on it because, I think, we were talking earlier about how it's been a really exciting year for barbershop in Europe. I actually think that's kind of a lot of the reason. Like, so many people said to us, usually I would come to Harmony College, but I've already been to like Bieber and Holland and I'm going to Europe. But, people had a bit too much barbershop on in the first half of this year. And like, that's totally fair enough. We're not going to tell people to stop going to conventions in Europe.
Well, not yet. Not yet. So.
Not yet. Yeah. So it's not quite come to that.
Yeah.
So we cancelled the event in the form that we'd kind of planned it for. But I don't know if you had anything to tell us, Si, about the future of Harmony College, either this year or in subsequent years.
Well, I think obviously you'll know that we've been doing the consultations recently. Again, not specifically to do with Harmony College, but there's always kind of comments we get and things that we look at. And actually, after Harmony College, after we had to kind of cancel that and say we wouldn't run that, like the ideas on what people wanted, the ideas of the kind of things people want to spend time on, those kind of. It's interesting that one decision therefore makes ideas, and people say, "Oh, what about?" So we're kind of filtering through some of those kind of thoughts and ideas. So yeah, I think it's that. I think to try and look at what we do that members want, and it's a really difficult thing. You think you know what members want. You have to ask them. And that's the thing, and I think that's what we did. We put those things out there, and we asked members. We say, "What is it you want to do? What is it that you're wanting in your barbershop life?" And again, as we know, cost is always a thing, and we always try our best to keep the cost down to a minimum. So it's kind of, we always want the best thing. We want great educators. We want fabulous people coming in from different countries. We don't want it to cost anything, and we want it to be great. And it's like, that's tricky.
There has to be a balance.
There has to be a balance, but it's just finding that balance. So we are looking at that at the moment. And again, I think it's looking at those things like Harmony College North and South, where we've had those kind of singing kind of days have gone well. So there's a potential of doing stuff like that. I'm not going to give too many things away because some of these things are stuff that we're still talking about, and obviously we've got some board meetings and other planning stuff to have. But there's some of these things that people like stuff that people have been mentioning. It's like, that could work. We could do something that around, again, for me, the community, that community aspect of barbershop. We talk, and again, quite rightfully, we talk about the medalists, we talk about people who win, we talk about scores, but actually a significant proportion, and I'm aware of this, of our membership actually not be in groups that are going to get those scores with an 8. They might not get to go and represent the country in EBC, but just as motivated to be better and to learn. Yeah. And actually something that therefore speaks to that experience of barbershop, and it speaks to that community and that enjoyment of singing in a non-competitive way. So again, we're always listening. We're always wanting to find new ways of doing things whilst keeping the cost as low as it can and the quality as high. And again, my thing is I'm a music teacher. So for me, the education is always important in these events. So actually, I would always want to say that the education is at the forefront. So it's not, for me, it's not just getting bums on seats. it has to be, there has to be it's one of our aims as a charity is educating about the barbershop style and education, and actually getting better and giving good advice and making people healthier singers, better singers. And because if you're healthy and you're better, you do it better and you enjoy it and you do it for longer. So yeah.
I think it's one of the things that actually really separates the barbershop community worldwide from other styles of choral music is the emphasis that we put on the fact that like doing it well is really at the heart of barbershop. Like, you know, you go to other choirs and they have just as much fun, but they, you know, they just like having a sing through, and that but you go to a barbershop rehearsal at any level, they are working on being better at it. And I really think that's at the heart of not just Babs as an organisation, but the global barbershop community. I think we all have that in common, which is, you know, one of the reasons why we are able to run an educational charity, is because, you know, barbershoppers want that. So yeah, I think if we're going to do education, we want to do it.
That'll be good.
We want to do it really, really well, and we want to get you the best educators, because we know that people value that a lot in our community. So. Watch this space on Harmony College. Harmony College is not dead. Don't worry.
Nope,
we're
definitely
working
not.
on it. We're working
definitely
on it.
not.
And thank you for your questions and your feedback about Harmony College. It's all very helpful. Cool. All right. I think before we go, I just want to do a little plug. So obviously, convention is now over. We understand that for lots of clubs, convention is a big focus of the year. You know, from sort of January through till May and even a bit beyond. But just a little reminder from me that this year is the Babs Year of Harmony. You'll have seen the if you're at convention, you'll have seen the advertising around the Year of Harmony. To remind you, this is our campaign to basically get barbershop in front of musicians who might not have seen much barbershop before. Get barbershop seen by more people in our sort of musical, the wider musical world. And so what we're encouraging clubs and quartets and individuals to do is try and find ways to collaborate with another musical group or a set of musical organisations or ensembles in your area. And it could be in the form of like a joint concert, or you could run a workshop for each other. So, you know, bring them to your rehearsal and teach them about barbershop, and then go to their rehearsal and learn about what they do. You know, anything you can think of that involves putting barbershop in front of people who are interested but might not know much about it. And to help with that, there's money available. There's grant money available. So now that convention's over and you're sort of potentially sitting there thinking, what should we do for the rest of the year? Why not run a Year of Harmony event and get yourself some support from Babs to do it? It's an outreach thing. It's about spreading the idea of barbershop and getting it in front of more people. So
yeah, we did something. My community choir, the Knighton Community Choir.
Yeah,
we got Sean Devine from America to come and coach our group.
Amazing.
And then invited other people to come along. So we had some barbershoppers, some non-barbershoppers, and yeah, Sean Devine came and did a whole workshop on with lots and lots of non-barbershoppers who'd never been coached in any way, shape, or form ever. So they loved it, absolutely loved it. So yeah, it's really really important,
really worth doing, and we'll improve our standing in the wider musical community as much as we can. So, and I think with that, that's the end of our podcast. Thank you so much, Simon, for your time.
It's an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for doing this. I have to say, I've watched them all so far. The last one I watched when I was in the airport waiting to fly to Holland Harmony. So I remember watching you and Alistair Lamyman chatting about things.
The great Alistair Lamyman.
The great Alistair Lamyman, if he does say that himself. But yes, and it's an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. If you are listening, if you want to give us any feedback or get in touch with us about anything we've said over the course of this podcast, or if you want to ask a question for next time, you can go to singbarbershop.com/podcast, or you can email podcast@singbarbershop.com. Do tell your barbershop friends about the podcast. We want to try and get as many people to listen as we can. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.